Hello. Sorry for the delay, everyone. We are roughly halfway through qualifying at the minute. Actually, no, we are only, around 3 or 4 minutes into sprint qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix here today. We've got sprint qualifying, then the sprint race, then into main qualifying session for the race, and into the race shortly after. Um, there we go. Sorry about that. A couple of silly little issues. So yeah, sprint weekend. So a few laps coming through. We've got the reserve driver of a I'm just going to call him Smith because it's the easiest possible way right now. So the reserve driver of Smith in P1, his teammate Exception in P2, another half decent races of in the opening couple of rounds of the season. Aero in the Red Bull once again putting in some decent lap times so far. One of the latest drivers on the grid, I believe another reserve drive for to do again today. We've then got Maverick down in 5th so far, Clint in 7th, once again driving for Williams this season. Another reserve driver in Project Nemesis for the second Red Bull seat this time around, and then the Saugers in 10th and 11th in a minute of Flyer and MJ for this season. Flyer for the full-time drive and MJ in a reserve role this season, as well as being team principal. So a big change for him this time around, not taking a full-time seat. Plenty more times coming through though. Riles popping up in 4th place so far, only 4 tenths behind the current fastest of Smith, with a few drivers currently actually out on some fast laps once again. So Alex and the Haas following his teammate round nicely. They've got a little bit of traffic just ahead of them with with one Williams. The Haas of Adam jumps out of the way of his teammate, gives him the chance to try and get a decent tow from the Williams. I'm going to say that's Buddha. Buddha moves out of the way as we head round as well. So just to try and get that tow down the main straight to start his lap. Will Alex go faster? Is he going to jump in? He's being mean to Saul, not finishing that lap. So we are going to sit on board for the Williams of Buddha, currently in 8th place at 110.4. So he did back off the last lap a little bit, tried to get a bit of a tow from the Haas ahead of him. Didn't quite pay off this time around, but that little bit around the banked final corner would have helped him a little bit to get up to top speed much quicker. So as one Red Bull, or is that the Racing Bull? I do not know now. Half the cars are flipping same colour. But absolute smashing sector 2, half a second up as we head towards this final 2 corners of the track. Round the second last corner, straight into a DRS zone. As we know, this is a much longer DRS zone than previous years. Battery all the way on into P3 he goes. He has gained a huge 6 tenths on those medium tyres into P3. How will everyone else fare through this qualifying? At the minute, Maverick in 9th place so far, looking to try and gain a little bit of time on the cars around him. A very, very decent midfield driver at the minute is Maverick, and he's about to go into 8th place, 3 tenths gained on that previous lap. So not too bad overall, keeps him in the top 10 at the minute as well. And in 8th place, deciding to go for a drift on his in-laps, a fair play to him there. The reserve McLaren driver out on track once again, looking to pretty much make a name for himself here in Tier 2. He's only joined into Can-Am today, so we'll see how he gets on. A very promising start so far though. In provisional pole for the sprint race, how will he go through the back corner? We go flat out round there into 7th and jumping into the pits. Is he going to try and go for a very quick tyre change? He was on the soft tyres, so that may not necessarily help him overall. So Edgar smashing in a purple sector 2 there. We've got a Sauber off the track in that inside of turn 14, I believe that is. I need to double check how many corners there are in the middle. And Edgar across the line into P5. That is a cracking lap for the Alpine driver. Into 5th place, a 109.8, so a fair few drivers within a few tenths of each other here, as everyone else now comes out for their final flying laps of this sprint qualifying. This book's going to be completely useless next year. Where is Zandvoort for it? Right, who's out on some laps now? We don't need to look at Edgar for the time being. Where is Coach coming up to? He is through sector 1, a 10.5 up so far in this other Alpine seat. Looking fairly good so far for Coach, as Williams sets a 109.5. That is unbelievable from the Ferrari there. And can anyone, if anyone is able to try and top that time, it is looking, I was about to say it was looking like someone completely different, as Clint smashes it into a 109.3, and I'm not going to say someone it might be tough to beat, as I thought the 105 might have been a bit more difficult, as Coach finishes his lap. Exception now on a fast lap. Let's see how he goes. Let's jump on board his car for a minute. Through the tight and twisty sector 1 we go. 4 attempts up. That is unbelievable so far. He is looking for provisional pole in this sprint qualifying. A little look up through there, but nothing too major. Heading towards the DRS, this first DRS zone on this track through sector 2. He's almost 6 tenths up now, looking to hit a 108 at the minute. This is going to be a very, very quick time in qualifying. How is he going to go? He's going to get a small amount of tow through the exit of the banked corner here. The Red Bull just darting out of the way. Exception into the 108.8. Alex went for provisional pole very briefly. Exception just goes and smashes that by 3/10. Aero into the 108.9s. These lap times are getting ridiculously quick right now. Buddha is about to cross the line. Where he is he gonna go? And he stays in where he was. Unfortunate for him, as that will be P9 for the sprint. And a bit of a mixed up top 10 really, compared to previous races that we've seen with many of these drivers. And I'm also corrected, we've got 14 corners around here, not 16. What an idiot. Oh well. Alright, let's grab all of this quickly. So, just a quick rundown for your grid for the sprint. It's Exception, Aero, Alex, as your top 3. Riles, Clint, Panda, Williams, Smith, Buddha. It's 100% it will be. Can't go. Sprints are great though. It's just the length of them at times do go on, but oh well, a bit of fun, extra racing, can't go wrong with them really. Right, while we wait for this sprint to get underway for the formation lap, I'll be back in a moment. See you then. Formation up underway. It will be a fairly quick formation up, no doubt. It's not exactly a long track, only 4.2 kilometres, and smashing vomit, absolutely brilliant. There goes my controller. Love and life. Stressful shit. Quick rundown of the grid as we head towards the final sector, so we won't have too much time to get this done. It is Exception on pole position for this race, followed by Aero on the front row. Heading to the second row, it is Alex and Riles, Clint and Panda just behind them, William and Smith into 7th and 8th. Finishing off the top 10 is Buddha and Teru. In the back half of the grid is Edgar in 11th and Will in 12th. Maverick and Coach line up in 13th and 14th. Project Nemesis and MJ in 15th and 16th, with MJ's teammate Flyer and Adam rounding off the grid for the sprint race, heading now to the front of the grid. Let's see what happens heading into turn 1. It is quite possibly going to be lovely and clean between everyone, or complete carnage for this right hand slightly banked horrible corner. 5 red lights and we are off for the sprint. Exception and Aero get away pretty evenly. Ilizo Aero taking the inside line into turn 1. I thought we had the lead there early on, but Exception keeps the lead with Alex and Riles just in behind those guys as Riles, oh my bloody hell. Huh? And now at the top, at the front, oh my god. Right. This isn't banger racing for those who just recently started to watch. This is Formula 1, and apparently carnage has already broken loose at the start of the race in the opening couple of corners, as it leads round to William and Buddha into the top 5 and 6. I have no words really for that opening lap. That was, as you could tell, pretty speechless. I don't know. Exceptional is taking a nice lead out in front. Aero in second still. Smith has moved up into P3. Panda into P4. William is P5. Buddha a little bit behind in P6. As Riles trying to get past now as well. Sorry, Buddha trying to get past. No, I don't even bloody know now. Coach trying to get past Riles. Riles is trying to close the gap to Buddha, and I'm just making a complete cock up of this, but oh well. It's a long night. We've got time. Coach in P8 so far, Maverick in P9, Clint in 10th place, and pretty much everyone from Buddha down to MJ is in a massive DRS train with not too much separating them. It is going to be tough as we see the Red Bull of Project just having a moment coming out of the final corner, or heading into the final corner there, and Clint makes the move on Coach, on Maverick, sorry. Maverick just pushes them back past, reclaims the position with Alex now closing in on these two in front. Trying to get the inside line is Alex down towards this fast sweeping section. Through the end of sector 1 we go into the double right-hander. This is a quick part of the track. Slows down a little bit here though as we head into a tight, almost U-bend corner, but it goes into a left down towards the DRS straight. Is Alex able to make any more positions back? Had a bit of a difficult opening lap, and let's have a quick look at changes in this race so far. As we see, the top two haven't moved positions so far. Alex with DRS, so he has got Maverick ahead, followed by Coach just there as well. Maverick makes the move on Coach. Coach fighting it back though, round the outside for the Alpine driver, and keeps the 7th position. Maverick though sending it down into the inside and not quite able to make the move. That was a brave move as Coach hit the upper part of the banked corner. Maverick going for the lower part of the corner there, trying something different but not able to make it stick. This has been a decent battle between these three at the minute. Probably one of the closest, although we have got Aero and Exception extremely close now. 6 tenths compared to what it was around a lap ago. We'll see what that is like heading for the DRS zone in a second. We have seen them on the mini-map, just getting there now with Aero DRS open. Can he make the move? Will he be close enough into turn 1? And unfortunately not this time around. Back to this close battle between these three here. Alex getting closer to Maverick, not able to do too much more though. Clint jumps in to the pits, but it is actually out of this race now as well. Not too sure when that happened in all honesty, but one DNF for the time being. Plenty of time though for Buddha to make up some decent points in the main race. Top 8, I believe, only 4 points, and then obviously top 10 for points in the main race. Maverick unfortunately dropping back off. Alex is on the back of Coach, goes for the inside line. They make a small amount of contact, nothing too major though. They both keep it on the track as Alex was just a lot quicker out of the hairpin of turn 12. Not exactly the easiest place to overtake, but he tried the move, didn't quite make it possible. Went for a move in turn 13, made some contact, made it pass, so nice and cleanly through the, well, pretty much the exit of the final corner into P7, and now charging down William in P6. He is having a decent recovery here after a couple of moments earlier on, as Project just has another moment in 15th at the minute. A very difficult race for him so far, and a difficult one for Clint as well. Not ideal for him, started in the top 5, now down in last place. Not ideal whatsoever, as Aero tries to make the move round the outside of Exception. Just not able to do anything here at the minute. He's been behind the McLaren for all of the race so far. 5 laps to go. Is Aero able to do what he needs to do in this race and potentially try and get Exception as he's unaware? Commentator's curse has struck as Aero goes slightly wide, coming towards the DRS zone, so that is going to be costly. He will not have DRS this time around. Exception's teammate back in P3, in having a very, very good debut race so far as a reserve. So 1.8 seconds separates P2 and P3, 1.4 seconds separates P1 and P2. Clint has jumped into the pits, retired fairly in there. A tough sprint for the two Williams drivers. Alex 2.5 seconds behind William. William has got 2 cars ahead of him of the 2 V carbs. 7 Riles and Panda in 4th and 5th minute. Is William able to do anything? Alex has, holy shit, taken almost a second out of him in the first sector of this lap. He is unbelievably quick in that Haas car at the minute. He's got some ridiculous pace at the minute. 1.5 seconds quicker on this lap alone. That is unbelievable. That is actually crazy that he's caught up that quick. Has he even got any battery left? Okay, this guy has shown some pace, but this is ridiculous. Holy, fair play to him. Right, he's just gained 3 seconds in that lap. Well, 2.5 seconds in that lap. That's crazy. Riles with some pressure from the Ferrari of William No, trying to get up the inside of the line. They're not able to be done. Backs off slightly, lets Riles cut back across. Will just take a bit of a toe through this part of the circuit. Into turns 11 now. DRS zone is upon us here. Riles going slightly wide, Lee opening the gap towards his teammate there. I don't know if these two are playing some team games, just trying to keep each other in DRS, with Riles being a bit of a makeshift, well, not really sure how to put it, but just doing the Checo Perez really, and defending for his life, trying to keep. Oh my, that's a late move from William. Pushes Riles well out the way on the exit of the corner. That is not ideal for the V-Carb. The Ferrari gets past, the Haas gets past, and then Riles ultimately retakes the position from William. Alex into P5. Riles into 6th now, and William down to 7th place. This has changed incredibly quickly between these few positions. Alex is on the back of Panda in the V-Carb. How will this DRS zone pay out for the Haas driver now? Smith though has caught up to Aero. That is a battle for P2 as well. We'll have a look at that in a second to see how close the McLaren reserve driver is in a second. So Alex past Red Panda and into the 4th position now. Riles also gets past his teammate and into 5th place. Panda ultimately losing out on 2 positions, but done extremely well to stay in 4th place for some time. And interesting battle so far for these two. I do though see Alex potentially driving off into the distance, possibly next lap. We have only got a lap and a half of this sprint race to go. A few gaps have opened up. Maverick and Coach are battling out for 8th and 9th at the minute, although it does seem to look like Coach got past on the timing screen and driven off somewhat down the road. And at the minute, between these guys, Smith and Aero, these are the closest battles on track so far. Smith into 2nd place, so this could be a very well fought McLaren 1-2 in this Zandvoort sprint race. Some very close battling, some wheel touching. Not too sure if either driver wanted that to happen, but both unscathed as Alex just takes a bit of a slide on the exit there, heading down towards the end of sector 1 through this fast right-hander, 6th gear corner, flat out, and down towards the 2 horrible right-handers. So the DRS zone is here. Is Alex able to get past Riles this time around? Can he reclaim that 4th position, We're going to go jump on board the leaders in a second and see Exception across the line for this sprint race. And that is Exception, Smith, Aero in the top three as your podium sprint race. Is Alex going to make the move down the inside? It's not able to happen this time around, as Alex has a 10-second time penalty that has completely knocked him down the order, out of the points for this sprint race. Could that see him take 10th position? No, it doesn't. It sees him stay in 12th, but that is an unfortunate 10-second time penalty for Alex. He had a fantastic recovery drive after the opening lap, and just doesn't quite pay off there at the end. And as we see the Mercedes of Toulouse cross the line, I would love to see drivers clips of that opening lap, because what the... So, Exception, Smith, Aero as your podium, Riles, Panda, William, Coach, Maverick as your point scorers, Alex, MJ, Will, Flyer, Edgar, Adam, Project, Tadu, Clint and Buddha rounds off your grid, with unfortunately Clint and Buddha picking up 2 DNFs for the Williams team. I hope I got all of that in then. Otherwise, Disney might shoot me. So, final qualifying session of the evening then, and who will get pole position this time around? We have seen in sprint qualifying Exception getting pole with a 108.8. So can someone... Well, that answers that one. No one's going to go quicker than a 108.8 in this session. We have got a bit of a mix-up session in the wet weather. This is now quite literally anyone's qualifying. Anyone's qualifying now. Not necessarily the fastest car on track will get pole, just the most consistent in the wet is likely to absolutely smash it. So MJ, William, Maverick, Clint, Exception, all out on track so far, with second Red Bull of Project on his... Wow. Sorry, Aero's not out yet, so there's one Red Bull on track. Both Saubers now out on track as well. To do braving it on the soft tyres. That is an odd one from the Mercedes driver. It does not look dry enough for soft tyres whatsoever. So unless that is, and I'm hoping it is, a visual glitch of some sort, but you never know. Some people are crazy enough to do it. So William is first to start his lap, followed by MJ Maverick will be next to start his lap, along with, I believe it is Clint and one of the McLarens next. I actually missed what his first sector was, but we'll go with it in a moment. A fairly clean lap so far. Hasn't looked to make any mistakes on this opening qualifying lap so far to get us underway. Decent second sector so far as well for William. Yeah, I don't believe a Mercedes was on softs, no way. Still in the pits, but hey. Across the line for a fairly decent lap time with a 19.7 for William. MJ with a 23.3. Decent lap for him. Maverick will be next across the line, then it will be Clint. Maverick into P2 with a 21.8. Clint will go and smash in a 22.6, Exception with a 21.1. Time from William is looking already hard to beat. Buddha now coming through sector 1. He is probably I don't know. I hope so. Cause some more carnage, that'd be interesting. I would love a bit of rain to see. That would be great. Bit of be some great racing, I think. So Buddha will be coming up to the end of sector 1 in a sector 2, in a minute, and Smith with a 120.182 so far, 4 attempts off of William. That is with everyone else slowly getting their times in. That 119.7 from William looks unstoppable so far. I said that earlier with the 109.5 with some of these drivers, but they proved me wrong. Buddha into 120.6 into P3. This is crazy at the minute. The 2 Alpines now coming across the line in second. Coach in 13th so far. His teammate in 12th. Coach goes into 8th place for 121.8. Edgar will go into 12th place, unfortunately, with 36.9, potentially just putting a banker lap in, trying to get a feel for the weather conditions. William has just gone another 4 attempts quicker in sector 2. He's gonna go smash an 18 something in a minute. Has a Sauber ahead of him, seems to be slowing him down. I'm not too sure if that Sauber is on a flying lap or not. It is either DJ or MJW. Sauber just pulling off the side. It looks like he's just... Oh my god. He's now second quicker. That is unbelievable. 119.7 for William. 119.1, sorry, for William. That's just... That's crazy. That is actually crazy in the wet flip at the minute. Looks like it could be drying up. Let's jump on board. Definitely seems to be drying up. It is not actively raining through sector 2. Aero getting a bit of a tow from the second Ferrari of Will. Sets a purple sector. This could give William a bit more of someone else as competition towards the top of the field at the minute. Looking very, very strong. Maverick currently with a 19.9. closest driver to Williams so far. Aero goes into fifth position. William looks like he might be going for another lap. We'll keep that in mind a minute. Panda into the P2 at the minute. On the front row of the grid provisionally, William is going for another lap. Panda's on a 1:19.6. Maverick on a 1:19.9. Will he be going for another lap? It doesn't look like it. His battery, his fuel is flashing, gets on the rumble strip. Sticks, it goes slightly wide and not ideal at the minute for him. Clinton P2 so far, times are definitely getting quicker. Williams gone another half a second. Track is drying extremely quickly. These tyres will probably overheat before they get before much else. Track is, there's definitely a dry enough line there, I think, for softs. Will we see any driver potentially take the gamble? 9/10 up for William. This is just crazy right now. Coach is on the softs on an out up. Alex and Tadu are both sat in the pit still. Tadu looks to have made the right move and staying in the pits at the minute. And a 17.8 for William. Yeah, it's all. Coach has gone off, but it might have just been to move out of Smith's way for the minute. Is he fighting so far? 1.8 seconds up. Bloody hell. So with this absolutely throwing everything at qualifying at the minute. Where with this pit Smith, it goes 17.5 in to provisional pole. We know though these times are gonna be quickly broken. Coach is on an fast lap now on these soft tyres. Let's see how he does. We'll jump on board and see how this lap goes. So there's definitely some corners not dry tyre worthy. But he was 1.2 seconds up in Sector 1. That is going to do a huge amount to his qualifying position. 2.2 seconds up. He is currently looking at provisional, not even provisional, pole with 2.2. Going to need a huge sector for this, but it did show up as a purple Sector 2. What is Coach gonna do? Can he leapfrog the majority of everyone he does into P3 and 18.2? And he is just gonna have to kind of hope that well, he's looks like he's going, maybe going again. Nope, not this time around. He has slowed down this lap. Who is out on softs at the minute? So, as we see, Maverick coming up to finish a lap. One of the other drivers on the soft tyre. We've also got Panda in behind, a few cars behind. Maverick into P1 at 15.6 so far. Aero in a fast lap as well. Panda on a fast lap. Plenty of drivers Alex on an out lap. He's just started his first flying lap of the session. Riles, for some bizarre reason, out on full wets. Qualifying ban, of course, yeah. Edgar smashing it into P1 so far. Provisional pole position for him. Panda about to cross the line for his soft flying up. And across the line into the 13s. This track's just getting quicker and quicker, which is perfect for everyone right now. But off to do some grass cutting, and Aero across the line to start another lap, I'm gonna guess. Bit of a difficult one for him a minute ago, I'm assuming. Even though Buddha goes off, he is still 1 point. Crazy. Let's jump on board. Alex, we have got a McLaren ahead. He jumps into the pits. That's just teasing us with that previous lap. Where is Exception? He is 3 seconds up on his time. It's no surprise at the minute that all drivers are absolutely smashing their original lap times right now. Although 6 seconds is just crazy right now. That's mental. The Sauber of Flyer into P2 with a 13.8, Aero with an 11.8. Crazy lap times coming in now from this originally wet qualifying. Is Smith on a flying lap? He is. Across the line for the McLaren and into provisional pole. 7 attempts quicker than Aero. And with 3 minutes to go, everything is on the line now. Drivers will not be giving an inch to anything, push like mad for these final few minutes in qualifying. See how quick people can get. See how quick the rest of the track dries out. From the driver's point of view at the minute, it does not look horrendous. 2.5 seconds up for Bloom. He is going to be smashing this. He got stupidly quick lap times in the wet compared to everyone else. Flyer thinks he's... Flyer's just crashed into the pit wall by the looks of it. I'm not sure what's happened to the Sauber driver. But hey, 5.5 seconds for William. He's into the 12s. He could be either into the 199s, into a low 110 at this rate in qualifying. He is definitely going to contend with Smith's 111.1. What will it be now? It's a 110.2. Blimmin' heck. Here we go, MJ on a fast lap at the minute, currently in P4, a good, he's invalidated, and that is not what he needed this time around. He needs to move quickly, he's got a Haas behind him. I'm sure if that is Alex on an out lap, it is, so that is a bonus for MJ, doesn't cost any driver too much. Coach coming round to start his final lap of I'm going to assume this is his final lap, and he's just upped his time on an out lap. That's incredible. Fair play to him. So who can we go to? That is close to the finish line at the minute. So Maverick across 3 seconds down on his time. That's going to be gutting for him at this stage in qualifying. Alex, where he on his lap, looking fairly decent so far. Smith on an out lap. We've got Project in P2, William in P1. The checkered flag has risen for Smith, Aero and Adam in this qualifying session. Just trying to work out who's about to be across the line. One of the Red Bulls and Aeros across the line in P2. In P6. Tadu goes into a 109.3. Edgar goes 110.1. Alex smashing it with a 109.5. How is William going to get on in these final couple of corners? Drivers now hitting the 109s like it is nothing. Exception smashing the 109.1 in, and William across the line for a 109.6. Difficult final lap for him, but he does get a good lap time in at the end there. Exception though, on provisional pole, once again, what can Panda do into P4, all down to Project Nemesis, and he jumps into the race. So Exception once again on pole in Zandvoort. What can he do this time around going into turn 1? This could be a very, very interesting 3 or 4 laps. Shut the flip up. Stupid controller. Exception will have Alex behind him this time around in that second grid slot. In that second grid slot, will be seems to be a much more difficult task to give Alex a run for his money in this opening few stages of most races at the minute. He's looked fairly strong off the back of race starts. Will it pay off for him again today? Who knows? He does have Exception ahead. He has been defending extremely well recently. So the battle is on for the to be leading at the end of lap 1. So just a quick break before we start this race. I'll be back in a minute. See you then. off for this race, and heading down towards turn 1 we go. We are... Well, Exception has got a fantastic lead. To Do is into P2 already. He has quickly got past Alex, and Alex is fighting back as quick as he possibly can right now. Not an easy track as we saw to overtake in the sprint race. Alex are losing position into turn 1. To Do on the quicker tyre. William closing, trying to keep up to these top 3, but the top 3 have just driven off fairly quickly. Alex slips back slightly, not ideal for this opening lap. That is not what the Haas driver needed. Exception though does seem to have a handle on this track. Fairly straightforward for him so far. Let's head down the field quickly and see what we've got coming into this final corner of the track. 7 already up, 3 positions in to 15th place from the back of the grid. Here we go. We've got some moves down at the front there. Riles just trying to get past the Ferrari. They make real contact on the exit of the corner. This could be close between the two, and they make it nice and clean through. Extremely tight through there, but it was clean through that corner. Jumping towards the top of the grid once again. The whole thing in DRS range at the minute. Few gaps starting to open up and create some spaces. Right, with this opening lap done, or opening couple of laps done, let's see who has made up the most, who has lost the most so far. Alex with 112.1 in this fastest lap so far. We are lap 3, or just started lap 3 of the race. We've got 7 is just on a mission. Let's go on board his car quickly. He's just overtaken Coach for P11 as well. MJ, his next target. Where is Riles gonna end up in this race? He's on a mission right now, up 7 places in the opening 3 laps. This is blimmin' quick for the V-Car Bravo. We are gonna stay on board the this car for the time being, see where he can end up come at the end of this lap. We will have DRS on the Sauber of MJ. The 2 Saubers having difficult races so far, or 1 Sauber, sorry, having a difficult race so far. The other up in the points, up 2 positions. Where can MJ finish in this Dutch Grand Prix? The top 4 all within DRS at the minute. We have got a caution in Sector 3. It is Flyer DJ in 18th place, having a bit of a moment. And who is that making a move? It is MJ on Maverick. Gets into P9. Maverick now is the target for 7, for the Wild, sorry. And this is really close right now. Adam into the pit lane. What has happened to the Haas driver? Oh no. Oh dear. I don't know if he just starts there, or I really don't understand that one. Was that a hit? Huh? Oh well. So Adam is out of this race. Not sure if that was a game glitch, or not sure if that was him. But hey ho. MJ's had a moment. He drops down to 16th place. That is not ideal for the Williams driver, the flipping Sauber driver, and down to the back of the grid he goes. He's now joined by his teammate, and we have got a bit of poor weather coming in. How is this going to affect the race for the next 31 laps? Those on the medium tyres are going to be somewhat laughing. They've gone for the shorter stint first. Absolutely paid off for them. 5 laps in, we do have wet weather coming in. We've got a couple of drivers though heading into the pits, changing tyres, I would presume. Let's have a quick look. So yeah, Clinton and William both on to the intermediate tyres. Is Exception going to take the gamble now? Are any of the top 4 going to take the gamble for the wet tyres now? Or are they going to see how heavy this rain comes down? Alex jumping into the pits for the intermediates. And being the first of the top 4 drivers to come in. It will have a knock-on effect for those guys out in front. We've got another caution in sector 3. Not sure who for this time around. Maybe Red Bull with Aero. I'm not sure if he's just had a moment or not. See, he's got no end plate. That is unlucky for the Red Bull driver. And into the pits for a wing change. Clint looks to have a time penalty. What is that for exactly? That's unfortunate for him. 10-second time penalty. That would have been probably for speeding into the pits. So, will these top 3 drivers make a pit stop now, or are they going to leave out? That is a huge moment for Exception. Loses so much traction, loses half a second to the car behind him. And will he head into the pits now? Will this be his moment? No, he is braving it. He is staying out. The other 2 follow him of Tadu and Buddha. Will these guys just try and push it as far as they can? I wouldn't blame them, but it's also way worse than what it was the lap before. This would be a bit of a ballsy move for these guys if they continue to stay on. The top 8 have all stayed out for the opening 7 laps so far. Will they come in this time around? Will they stay out? Who knows? Although, looking at this, Alex is going to take the lead of this race when the top 8 decide to box for the Inters. He's on a mission right now on those wet tyres. The top 8 starting to lose some ground to these intermediate runners. Alex 4 tenths behind Maverick so far. Let's jump on board the Haas driver. He's already passed him. He's already gone. These dry tyres need to come in ideally 2 laps ago. Or ideally last lap, knowing that Alex boxed the lap before. This is close. Alex with way more traction going into the banked corner. The dry runners can barely keep it pointing in the right direction at the minute. And they've stayed out again. Alex has played a absolute blinder so far. He's 4.5 seconds now behind Miles, who is up a staggering 12 places from the start of this race. So, Coach, MJ, Flyer, all within last lap. They have now dropped a few positions, a fair few positions, with these top 6 so still not jumping into the pits. They've kind of screwed their race here. Alex is now 2.5 seconds. He's gained a massive 2.2 seconds since, let's make that 3.4, 3.6. This is unbelievably quick at the minute from Alex. Once again, he had an unfortunate sprint. He's managed to put it back in that sprint race. He's drifted round the corner along with the Ferrari behind him. With exception box now. Surely he has to come in soon. Once again, they all stay out in that top 4. Alex there, as you can see in the background, he is closing rapidly on these top 6 drivers. I think before the top 3 even start thinking about boxing, Alex is going to be close to them. He's going to have overtaken them almost. So this is going to be a crucial few laps at the minute. Look at that rain coming down. It is not ideal right now. And Alex has passed another one. He has got past Riles, who's had a fantastic start to this race. And now he's only 10 seconds behind the leaders. Or behind the leaders, should I say. This is not what Exception needs. Is he going to box? No, he's stayed out again. The top 4 are wasting laps here. It is not ideal. I'm surprised they're still on the track 9 laps later. These intermediates are absolutely rapid at the minute. Although, is the track starting to... still definitely not the dry tyre weather. So 7.5 seconds behind the leader. William is 8 seconds behind the leader, roughly 9 tenths behind Alex. As we saw there, Edgar now is in view of Alex and will probably be overtaking this top 4 in the next lap or 2. Maybe not, looking at the time, maybe next 2 or 3 laps. He's already not 2 seconds off this lap time. There's still a third of the track still to go. He could knock even more time off before the end of this lap. And then the run down to turn 1 is gonna be massive. We know Alex has got some decent cornering speed. He's been catching mostly on the corners in this race. This is brave for the top 4 to be staying out. We have got a bit of a split grid between the Inters and, well, the wets and the dries. So both Saubers, 1 Red Bull, 1 Alpine, 1 Williams, 1 Ferrari, 1 Haas, all on the Inters. The other drivers, with the exception of the 2 McLarens and the 2 Racing Bulls, everyone else has split their strategy for this race. 4.5 seconds is the gap to Exception and Alex. I think William is just having a little chill behind the Haas driver at the minute, just letting things play out, letting and Exception to do, but Alex has also jumped into the pits. That is interesting there. William now into P2. What is Alex's plan here? He's jumped onto the mediums. That rain clearly hasn't. Oh, crap. So the rain has gone. We've gone almost 3 wide up the hill here. Not ideal for them guys. So yeah, them intermediates just not lasting now. They were good for around 6 laps. Not ideal here. So maybe, just maybe, has Edgar pulled off the decent strategy here, staying out much longer, pushing through the rain, saving some tyre. Can he get his first win for a little while and push on in this race? We are only 13 laps in, 24 laps to go, and what a race we've got on our hands over those 24 laps as well. Succession is leading this little train of cars at the minute. Edgar and Riles well and truly Edgar well and truly out in front at the minute. We have got William, who has boxed for a fresh set of tyres. How long will they last him, or how long will most of these tyres last drivers in this race? Tends to be I don't want to get this wrong, but I believe it tends to be a one-stop round here at most of the time. 2-stop may well be the quickest way round, but a 1-stop is definitely doable. Edgar though 2.5 seconds ahead of the RB there, but are squeezing past Project Nemesis. Alex now squeezing past as well. And Maverick jumping into the pits, getting rid of those 12-lap old hard tyres, and down to 10th so far. Panda closing those, does squeeze past and into 10th. Maverick still in the pit lane on his way out, as we saw on the money map there. Alex setting quickest sector 1 so far on those fairly fresh medium tyres, 2-lap old mediums. Driver ahead of him, 2-lap old hards as well. So only Edgar Riles, Project Nemesis and Red Panda, the only 4 drivers not to have stopped in this race. Will, Maverick, Smith, Buddha, Teru and Exception all on 1 stop so far. Alex with a 1:11.7 for the fastest lap of the race so far on lap 14 of the race. Where the hell has that gone? Right, sorry about that. Right, so who has just stopped? Let's grab tyres up quickly. Sorry about that, everyone. So Edgar Riles have just made a stop. Panda made his stop a lap ago. One of the Saubers has just been, unfortunately, gone a lap down. Exception though has stormed back into the lead of this race on the 5-lap hold. Hard tyres, 3 seconds ahead. Not bad whatsoever for the McLaren driver. So far, a double pole position for him. Could he take the second win of the day as well? Absolutely brilliant driving so far for one of those McLarens today. Edgar versus William, Alpine versus Ferrari. What will happen between these two drivers? They are only half a second behind. Just ahead, though, 3.5 seconds down the road, is the battle for the final 2 podium positions. These two are definitely gonna want to be in the fight for that. Edgar, though, on the much newer tyres compared to the 4 drivers ahead of him, not the 5 drivers ahead of him, sorry. So Edgar was going to say breezes past. He doesn't exactly breeze past, as Woodley is still a few tenths behind and trying to stay now. Edgar already gained almost a second in this first sector. Gap between himself and the car behind now. He's only just got ahead of William at the start of this lap. And that is not ideal. I don't know if I've got him added. Let's get him in quickly. If I have. By trying to get William back in, we will get this done. Project Nemesis has unfortunately been overtaken by Riles. That is absolutely gutting for him. on those extremely old hard tyres, 19, almost 20 lap old tyres. He is absolutely smashing it on those at the minute. Right, let's get William in. Alright, perfect. That's William back invited. Let's get him back in this race and back up this leaderboard, because unfortunately his car was AI was awful, just reboxed him for no reason whatsoever. Let's head to this battle for the final 2 positions on that provisional podium so far. Buddha and Alex absolutely smashing it so far. Let's... Come on, stupid thing. Let's send a couple through to him and I hope they work. Alright, fingers crossed he gets in. So, Alex Buddha to do all on this list for... all in that list for a podium at the minute. We will get William in. I will just spam a ton of invites. One of them must work. Like, come on. EA is absolutely shocking for flipping servers. They're a joke. Alex into P3 so far, still looking fairly strong. The Sauber of what I'm gonna assume is shall we head further down, see what battles are going on at the minute. Project is just behind them, Maverick at the minute. How is he doing for tyres so far? Has he stopped yet? No, he hasn't. 22 lap old hard tyres. This is flipping ridiculous. He's gone from the start through the wet weather on those tyres. So far on lap 24 of the race, he's on the same tyre, not losing exactly much time in a minute. Oh, that's close for Alex. He goes drifting through turn 1. Almost collects the Williams of Buddha. Then almost, unfortunately, collects the Mercedes of Toulouse. That has brought Edgar straight back into play. This top 5 battle is gonna be crazy to the end. Right, hopefully William is back in. He's in 10th place at the minute, 4 seconds behind the Red Bull of Project, who's just crazy, honestly. I could never known someone to go this long on a set of tyres around it. That is impressive. Round of applause for Project Nemesis, because crazy. Exception taking another pit stop in this race, jumping on to a fresh set of hards. Buddha retakes the lead. He believes this is the best way to get round is a second stop for the final 12 laps of this race. This is going to be slightly costly though. He's going to have to hope that the top 4 all box, and pretty much he's going to need some pace in this final stint now. 12 laps to go. He's a fair tyre deficit at the minute as well. Who else is box? Project has finally jumped into the pits for a fresh set of mediums. With his final laps remaining, this could be a good result for Project Nemesis. He's taken the bold strategy of going 24 laps on the hards. He hasn't got long to last on these medium tyres. He's got very little fuel in the car compared to the start as well now, as anyone would. But now jumps into bit, so does Alex. This good close. Alex got extremely picked up a huge amount of speed going into the pit lane, and I don't think he did, but he was very close to going into the back of the Williams ahead. So once again, the top 3 changes. Exceptions undercut though, boxing that lap in a bit, that lap earlier has very much paid off. Will probably be almost 10 seconds ahead by the time the tyres warm up for everyone else. So Exception is 11 seconds behind the lead at the minute on a 13 lap difference on tyres. So this is a huge part of the race now. Is Exception going to be able to catch up to Tadu, or is Tadu gonna jump into the pits this time around? So he is going to take the fresh set as well. What tyres will it be? Buddha and Alex take the mediums. Edgar took the hards as well as Exception. What is Tadu's choice? It is the medium tyre. So that is that is going to be a big advantage for when they get heated up. Riles now, P2, 11 lap old tyres. A tough bit. Tough end to this race it will be for him, with 10 laps to go and a 7.5 second gap to Alex and Buddha. This could be a very, very nervy end for the V-Carb. Maverick jumping into the pits as well. Project up into the points. What a gamble he's taken for this race, and it has paid off. Where did he start? So he had started in 10th as well. So a fairly strong, fairly good performance overall for him. Is obviously 40 seconds behind the leader, but that does not matter at this stage. He's pulled off something not many drivers would have expected. I believe so far the only driver to complete a 1 stop. Everyone else on 2 or 3 stops are. So Riles and Red Panda also trying to make the 1 stop work. Where are our closest battles? Here we go. Buddha and Alex have swapped places. this is going to be a fairly good battle now to the end. Very close on pace, these two are. Very good race pace. And from what I've seen, the majority of the time between these two, extremely good racecraft. I don't recall, I'm probably wrong in saying this, like a lot of things. But I don't believe these two. So yeah, this season, but there's been unfortunately in a few incidents that haven't, in his eyes, would have gone his way. Alex, from what I can see, being in no instance so an extremely clean driver, but definitely getting there though with some of the racecraft. Many of the tier 2 drivers actually getting there with racecraft. They are still crazy incidents at times. Hey, we need excitement sometimes. We need these crazy moments here and there. And a lot of drivers are, well, if a few drivers in the past being crazy and now have turned their ways around. I'm not going to say anyone, but the majority of them will know exactly who they are. But a good bunch here, and show the tyres. No, of course I can, Dave. There you go. Smith and Maverick on the soft tyres. The rest of everyone fairly split between the hards and the mediums. Flyer though is going to jump into the pits probably for the soft tyre, try and nick the fastest lap of the race. William has gone into the pits, he's moved up a few positions, definitely going for fastest lap here, hasn't really, since the disconnect not too long ago, dropped down the order, got screwed over by that AI. So a lot of work for him to get back into it. He was fighting for top 5 position at that point as well. Oh dear me, that was starting for, but just makes a small, just goes slightly wide, makes a small bit of contact with the wall, pings himself back on the track, and unfortunately makes the tiniest amount of contact with Alex, drops that down to 3rd place for Buddha, and now needs to fight, oh dear, and now needs to fight with Tadeu, Riles and Edgar for this final podium position. He was much closer to Alex. He's now having to defend from 3 cars behind him. This is going to be very, very difficult for the Williams driver to fight off the Mercedes, the V-Club and the Alpine. this is gonna be a tough couple of laps. So the battery levels looking very different for everyone here. One driver in particular going to struggle to keep up with the rest of the grid, rest of the pack. DRS is helping him massively, goes defensive, and Edgar slots down the inside of the V-carb. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He does. He pushes the V-carb onto the apex, keeps it clean though. Completely fair way of driving for the Alpine of Edgar. Absolutely brilliant move, past him there. Now down to attack the Williams of Buddha, who is down to 4th position as we were watching the battle with Edgar in 7. Buddha gets overtaken by Tadu, and Tadu now is pushing for that P2 position, only a second behind Alex. Does he have DRS? He has got DRS heading down now, down to turn 11. It is going to be a good fight towards the finish line. Only 4 laps to go. Exception in P1. Only one retirement from this race so far, and that was in the opening 6 laps or so. Oh my. Buddha just pushing the limit, shall we say. That looked extremely tight between himself and Edgar ahead. Edgar trying to get past. It looked as if in the background he was getting very much squeezed towards the wall, Michael Schumacher style. Keeps contact well away from each other, not quite well away from each other, but they do keep away from contact, and that could have been extremely an extremely mad crash had anything happened. Unscathed currently. Buddha though dropped from P2 down to P5 since that moment on the final corner just 2 laps ago. This has not been the end of the race that the Buddha would want. Could we see an overtake? It is Alex versus Tadu. Tadu goes into P2, Alex into P3. I don't think Alex was expecting too much of a challenge towards this end of the race. He has been extremely quick all evening long. Smashed in the sprint race. Unfortunate to have lost the position he was in at the end of it. Dropped all the way down to P10 after it. 10-second penalty really harmed his race after an early bit of craziness in the sprint. Made his way back to P4, I believe it was. Dropped back to P10. Brings it back in the main qualifying to P2. Does Alex. Sits there for a good chunk of the race, and we do have Maverick Spawn off the track, I believe, down a turn in between turn 8 and between 7 and 8. That is not the was not ideal for him. He is gonna need to do another pit stop, as it looked like he went well off and slightly into the wall. Let's jump on board quickly. Maverick's car seems okay for the time being. So, final lap of this race. It is Exception out in front by almost 6 seconds. Alex and Tadu fighting out for second and third, with Edgar 6 tenths behind. Could he end up on the podium? Could he sneak that third position of Alex? Or Is Alex going to sneak a move down the inside into the final part of the track? Not quite able to on the exit of this DRS zone. Has got a big DRS run though down to the final part of the circuit. Exception is your winner in this sprint. Is Alex going to do it on the line? He's not quite there, and that is an extremely close finish between Tadeu and Alex. Unfortunate for him overall in P3 for Alex, but a very, very good race for both drivers. Nonetheless, Riles smashing into P6 on his return and gets the fastest up the race with a 1:10.6. Smith and into P7, William into P8. An unfortunate race for him, a difficult race for him. Panda in P9 will have a 10-second penalty, so that will bring Will also with a 10-second penalty. That is gutting for him. Project Nemesis into P9. A good race for him. Absolutely brilliant bit of time management for the Red Bull. And what a good race overall for the feature race then. Let's grab these quickly for Dismal, and perfect, there we go. So it is exception to do. Alex is your podium. Edgar with a top 4 finish, a brilliant drive from P8. Buddha up a place, Riles up a brilliant amount of places, up 12. Smith has a good debut after a tough qualifying. William Nemesis will finish the rest off in a moment. I need to grab all of this very, very quickly. Not too many warnings or penalties overall, still a fair few, and that's all got for Dismal. Perfect. Here we go then. Panda in 10th place, Coach Aero, Will, Clint, MJ, Maverick, Flyer, and Adam to round off the grid. A very, very good race here then. We will next be in our next race will be Australia. Next time out, hopefully we'll all be there for the race down under. Until then, thank you everyone for watching, and hope you have a great evening. Bye bye.